And then, yes, Jowsy, you did say earlier, did you see the thing about... which country's leader? I did see the tweet about it. Was it Uganda's prime minister? President? He sent a demand to Turkey? Turkey, the nation of Turkey, of the chief of defense. He said, hey, give us $1 trillion and your most beautiful woman in your country so that he may marry her. But also the $1 trillion, $1 billion. Guys, would you marry someone for $1 billion? You don't know who they are, but you get $1 billion afterwards. I guess you could get a divorce. If they're hot, maybe. Damn, you can always just divorce instantly. No, because it's probably a dude? Huh? You wouldn't want to marry your homie? He's not a real bro. I can't believe it. Would you really not marry your friend for like $1 billion and then you can just divorce afterwards? I feel like I would. You could split the billion with your friend and get a happy divorce. Whoever says no isn't a very smart person. Isn't that a thing with like the lottery stuff, is that people who pick to get paid weekly versus lump sum in one go are like dumb? Because realistically, the person who picks weekly is probably not gonna live that long to get the value of it plus inflation. Like, it sounds nice on paper because you're like, get paid an extra $1,000 a week. Like, that's quite nice. But obviously, for the people who are like investors, they're like, well, that's dumb because then you have to deal with inflation, blah, 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 blah. But I think most people are just thinking having 1,000 extra in my pocket every week would be nice. Just stick it in the bank account. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know. If I won the lottery, what would I do? Probably buy a house. Then get an investor, maybe. I don't know. I would stop streaming. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like I can't go back to playing video games normally, though. Does that make sense? I'm so used to playing video games with you guys watching, and playing video games is like one of my main hobbies, that I think I would have to hallucinate a chat to play a video game. I do play games off stream, but I think it would be like a really weird situation. Like, I guess former streamers probably maybe have to do that, right? If I had $1 billion, would I still be in phase? I don't know. Because then I could just like be like, hey guys, I'm debuting a new model every week. But phase obviously wouldn't be very cool with that. Would you buy a castle and invite us all for a giant LAN? I don't know. I think it would be sick to maybe do like what they do with Europa Universalis. I guess it's probably not happening this year. But like the EU4 castle thing, I think it would be cool to buy a castle and then turn it into like a special LAN castle. That would be cool, instead of having it just be like a castle that they rent. You know, castles in Japan are cheap. Well, that's because some of them aren't like actual authentic castles, because a lot of them got burnt down over the years. Wasn't there a castle in Japan for like $60,000 US? It was built in like 1998 or something. Just buy the property. I think I'm too risk averse to buy a house just willy-nilly. I'm not like your boomer co-worker who has like 5 investment properties that they rent out for people with negative gearing and make like 20 times as much money as you do. No, that's not me. I don't know what I would do. What's the gen before boomers? The Clio generation? The gen before baby boomers is the golden generation, because they're the ones that fought in World War I and World War II. You thought it was the silence? No, I think it was... Isn't it golden? It's called the silent generation in the US. Huh? Why? What's the greatest? I think it was golden. Or is it the greatest? World War I is golden, World War II is silent? What? Silence is World War I, greatest is World War II. I thought it was golden. Is it called the silent because of obviously all the death and destruction of World War II? And then everyone was like, by the way, if you have sex and have children, we'll give you money. So everyone and their mother, well, maybe not everyone and their mother, maybe everyone and their spouse, was like, let's do it. And so they had lots of kids, and then we had the baby boom, and now they're called boomers. Getting paid for sex? Well, technically Australia has it. Australia technically, Korea like pays you to date and then get married and then have children. Technically in Australia there's like government support programs for having kids. Singapore pays high IQ/income parents to have children. Huh? Really, in Korea? Yeah, because Korea has such a decline in, like, dating numbers. Like, people just, like, aren't going on dates anymore. Like, people aren't forming relationships and having families at a rate in Korea that is worse than everywhere else, I think. Because obviously Korea has other issues that I'm not fully informed about, but somewhat aware about. Declining birth rate? Japan isn't even, like, that bad compared to the rest of the world if you look at the declining birth rates. Like, Japan is much better than, I think, places like... Is it Finland? Like, Finland, I think, is the place with the worst birth rates in the world or something. I mean, there's a reason why birth rates are declining is because, you know, there was a whole generation of There was a baby boom in which everyone was like, fuck, World War II was fucking shit. We've got to make more kids. We've got to replace the workforce that was lost. We've got to repopulate the country. So all these people were just going, well, we got to have sex. So they did. And now, you know, we're in a massive decline in comparison to that. Is that true that the average woman in Chad is having 6 kids? Holy fuck. I don't think I could handle 6 children. But yeah, Japan is, like, not actually that bad in comparison to other countries. I think if your average birth is below 1, then that's when it's really, really bad. Like, women having 1 or 2 children is perfectly fine. Women having 0 children is fine. It's, you know, the circumstances have changed. If I didn't become a streamer and I actually went outside and I became, like, if I was working in my career still as a, you know, in history department in my university and I met someone and then I got married or whatever, if I was on that salary, I would not be able to afford to have a child. I would need to have married someone who makes probably double of what I was making to be able to do that. Streaming would be my second job. Yeah, but then I would have to then juggle raising a child, a job, and also streaming then. Like, that's kind of difficult. Be in a polycule? I'm not gonna be in a polycule to raise a family. That's crazy. Content baby? No, I think if I have a child, that I'm not having that child be on stream at all. Absolutely not. That child is not having anything public at all. Can your grandparents help raise your child? They're already doing that for my niece, yes. But I don't know if they would be like, yes, let's have 2 grandchildren to look after now. That said, I think my sister and my brother-in-law are probably gonna try and have another. So they're doing their part. When will I contribute to the birth rate statistics? Aren't we technically all contributing to the birth rate statistics right now, but in a, like, negative way, not a positive way? Unless there happens to be someone in the chat who is a father or a mother. It's not a matter of whether I want to have kids. It's a matter of the circumstances of not being able to give that child a good life if I was to have a kid, because I simply do not make enough money to give them a fair shot at life, and also to, you know, like, we would be living in poverty, which I don't think is fair to the child. I think that's a very realistic experience across the world, unfortunately, is that, like, people simply cannot afford to raise children. Stop with the money excuse. Have you... What? Do you know how expensive a child is? It's not an excuse. I don't have $1 million to raise the child. Do you know how expensive children are now? That's either bait or sheer ignorance. Yeah, he wants me to be in debt. 2 million USD over the course of 18 years. Okay, so let me explain to you. I was making 40,000 Australian dollars a year in my previous salary. Do you know how much that is in 10 years? That's 400,000 Australian dollars. Do you know how much that is in US dollars? That's $28,000. So I would have to raise a child and also look after my own well-being on $282,000 over 18 years. Do you think you could raise a child on that? And also house a child? And also pay for their education? And then also... Do you think you could do that? Probably not. I would be living on the streets, probably. Did you factor in the spouse? No, we're not factoring in the spouse. Obviously, having a second person in the relationship will help. But it's not a good start for raising a child. Anyway, we're getting very competitive about topics that are relevant to me, because I'm a streamer. And I don't go outside. Crazy conversations to have with terminally online people. I find that people who are terminally online are the people who are more likely to be talking about stuff like this topic as like the downfall of society. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the people talking about birth rate probably are also talking about a lot of other sensitive political topics and monetizing it in like a podcast format and are like saying the most crazy shit. Wasn't there a guy who was like making strange tweets about Taylor Swift? She hit 30 years old and then 80% of her eggs are gone or something. And I was like, huh? What a crazy thing to just tweet about. It drives engagement. Yeah, there's just a lot of, I mean, those are probably like the terminally online people who are tweeting about like, I don't know. You know you're getting old when you realize you're older than most pop stars? Yeah, well, I mean, when you hit like, no offense to anyone, if you're like 25 years old, you are 99% likely to not have a sports career because the people you're watching on the sports field are probably now younger than you. I remember being 18 years old and seeing football stars who were younger than me and realizing, oh, it's over. In terms of sports, 25 isn't over. Like, it's not over. There was like that, what was it? Northern Lion clip. It was one of the people he was playing with was like 7 years old or something. And like he was saying that he liked a certain style of clothing and his mum was like, well, I can buy you some. And then he said, no, it's too late for me at like 7 years old, which is very funny. That said, there are, people unironically who are like that, where they're like, I'm 21 and my life is over. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Life is actually pretty fucking sick. So let's get back to positivity pilled. We're not going to talk about the birth rates. His life is pretty cool. I live a very cool life. I'm very happy, as I am. I'm much happier now than I was in my 20s, that's for sure. You're a pretty lady, though? I'm really not. I'm really not, guys. I'm really not pretty. Like, you know the saying, you have a face for radio? I've had that said to me. I'm pretty funny. I'll take that. I'll accept that. What's a radio face? A face for radio implies that you're so ugly that the only way people will listen to you is if they can't see your face. Which, guess what, guys? I'm a VTuber. I've made that joke before, is that VTubing should be for the uggos. If you're conventionally attractive, you're not allowed to be a VTuber. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Go be a facecam streamer. You're not allowed to be a VTuber. You have to be ugly. So like all of Phase has to quit. A lot of VTubers are hot or cute. At least you don't have a voice for print. I mean, I've heard that as well. Just diss all my coworkers by saying they're attractive? Huh?